up.
Yo, Longhairs, welcome to episode 112 of Let It Ride. Here we talk long hair and business, advocate for hair equality, and celebrate men's long manes with hair whips and high fives. If you're a guy with long hair,
you're in the right place.
This episode is brought to you by this dope new gear from our friends at Westside Love, streetwear inspired by love for the West. And the first committed premier sponsor for the Great Cut 2024. I just got this new shirt and hard lid delivered, and they are crispy. Visit westsidelove.us and feel that Westside love.
Sick.
I'm El Rubio, co-founder and CEO of the Longhairs. I'm here with my fellow co-founder and the president, El Moreno.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
We are at the Longhairs global headquarters, also known as The Warehouse in San Diego, California. And on today's show, fighting out of Spring Lake, New Jersey, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 160 pounds, with 25 inches of brown wavy locks, representing the United States of America in Paralympic Judo. He was the gold medalist at the 2018 USA Judo National Championships for blind and visually impaired and the 2017 USA Judo President's Cup. He is the winner of 122 matches and two-time district champion for St. John Vianney High School in New Jersey. He is the subject of the 2018 documentary film A Shot in the Dark, chronicling his wrestling journey and life story, and available for streaming on Amazon Prime now. He's an accomplished guitar player and motivational speaker. You'll need no further motivation after today's show, as well as a competitive skateboarder actively advocating for skateboarding as an event in the Paralympic Games, accompanied by his wife Kelly and their service doggy Delta. He has a long hair on head and in heart. We call him El Luchador. He is Anthony Ferraro.
What's up, bro?
Welcome to the show, man.
Yo, it is an honor to be here. He forgot to mention I'm also an Uber driver.
Oh, dude, I knew we were missing a qualification there. He is a 5-star Uber driver with over 1,000 career 5-star rides.
Oh, man, dude, it's so good to be here. Thank you so much.
We are pumped to have you here, man. And just to bring all of our fellow long hairs up to speed, you are visually impaired. You are legally blind. You have been most of your life. Can you just help us understand, how did you come to be blind and how much can you actually see?
Absolutely. So I was born with a degenerative eye condition called Leber's congenital amaurosis, and it's LCA for short. And I had like a little bit of eyesight when I was younger. Like I could see the blur of people and things like that. And then, you know, I can make out like my perception of what like grass in the sky and like everything looked like. And then as I grew up, it slowly got worse. So it like deteriorated over time. And now I'm left with just like light perception. So I could see like the sun and everything like that. And like when it's light out, and then natural lighting's the best because I can make out like some colors in the day. And in my left eye though, I can't really see anything anymore. Like it's starting to totally black out, but it's chill. You just got to keep going.
Yeah. So when you I'm interested to kind of just better understand, just quickly, like when you say light, you know, is there color you see? Is it just black versus white?
No, so I definitely see color, but the problem is like someone put on a light the other day and I couldn't tell what color it was, but I can tell it was a color, if that makes sense. It's weird. Like I remember being able to see, like, this is like a vivid memory when I was a kid, like seeing the box of crayons and being able to pick out each individual color.
Okay.
But I can't do that anymore. But I have a perfect like memory of what colors look like.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I can see that the sky is blue, but it's like maybe I'm definitely not seeing what you're seeing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then I could see that the grass is green, but like in here, for example, like I can only see that light is on,
Okay.
and then just that's basically it.
Yeah.
Okay. And this.
I hope that helps.
No, dude, absolutely. Yeah.
You can ask more. Like I try my best to explain it.
No, it's good, and it allows us to just better understand kind of what potentially it is like for you.
Yeah, because there's a whole spectrum of blindness too, and that's like a big misconception. Is like people think, oh, you're blind, so you see black,
Right.
which is the case for a lot of people. But there's a spectrum of blindness where there's like people that just can't drive, and that's like they can still see pretty well.
Yeah.
And then there's like, people that can see a little better than I can, and then it goes all the way,
Sure. Big spectrum.
Yeah.
Now, dude, we're really big about community here, and we have developed the Longhairs just based on the whole global community of men with long hair. What is like the blind community like? Is there a community aspect in?
There's definitely a community aspect. I think it's almost like there's people you kind of vibe with in that world. Like I migrated towards like blind skateboarders, people, kind of pushing their limits in life and doing things.
Yeah.
And then, but there's like, I don't know, it's like life. There's someone for everyone,
Sure.
It's like, the blind community's it's spread out, I guess.
Okay.
But there's groups and stuff where they like heavily engage, but I don't find myself in those groups. So I more try to help people get into the sighted world and like push past those things, like not just stay and like everyone should change for me type of thing.
Yeah. Man, you've done some amazing things to push that with your wrestling career, with judo, with the skateboarding. We got to get into all that. But really, you are a huge advocate for going and getting after it, and focusing on an athletic kind of aspect. So, like, how did you make that decision from going from wrestling or your experience from wrestling and then getting into judo? Were you approached or recruited, or how did that work?
So after the film was made and like my high school career is over and everything, my brother had passed away, and he never got to see any of the film he helped create, and like it was his whole vision. And then like I kind of moved. I was living in California at the time. I moved back home to Jersey. My mom got really hurt. Like I found her at the bottom of the stairs, and she was in a coma for a while and all this stuff. And she's thankfully like so much better now. And, but like a bunch of life happened. And then one day I'm sitting home. It's like 2017. And I'm sitting home and I'm like, don't know where I'm going in my life. Like kind of, lost at that time. Like, what am I going to do moving forward? But like still just getting up every day and putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
And then I get a call, and it was like the United States Olympic Committee, and they're like, is this Anthony Ferraro? And I'm like, I think you have the wrong number. So that was like where it all, and they were like, we saw your documentary. Would you consider training judo for the Paralympics? And I was
Nice.
like, I've never done that before, but let's do it,
Yeah.
So that became my next like journey, I guess.
Dude, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. It was
And you're still pursuing that. You're in it.
100%.
Okay. What's the future looking like for that? We got the Summer Olympic Games coming up.
Yeah, so so it's the Summer Games in 2024 in Paris. And 2021 I was really close to making it to the games. I was like top 20 in the world. And then I tore my groin like 2 days before leaving for one of the last tournaments to qualify. And then I was just like out for months. Like I couldn't move it was really bad. And then I just, like grieved that kind of because it really sucked, and I was like down about it for a while. And then I just kept going, and now my sights are set on 2024, and I just been kind of, not making judo my life completely, as well as like focusing on other aspects of my life. Because when it was full judo all the time, like one day I got a concussion, like leaving for a tournament, like at my house. I got the cellar door slammed on my head. And it was the worst concussion I've ever had in my life. And at that time, I never I didn't know anything other than judo. Like, it was just everything in my life.
Yeah.
And then it made me realize, like, because I was out for like months after that, and it made me realize, like, this could be all gone tomorrow. So I need to like focus on other stuff too. So like focus on my music and like skateboarding and just doing other things as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So back up just a little bit. How did you get into wrestling? It was 7th and 8th grade, right? Were you playing other sports before that, or what drew you to the wrestling?
Yeah, so I used to play. I used to think I was gonna be a football player, but like I used to be like, Dad, let me play football. Dad, let me play football. He's like, dude, you're gonna get blindsided. You know, and like football wasn't really a thing for me then, and like I'm glad he didn't have me play now, like this day, but at times I was a little upset. But then my brother Oliver, like my older brother, he was like took 5th in the state for his school, and he was an amazing wrestler. And I was like, you know what, I'll try that out, because I grew up playing like basketball and soccer and all this other stuff like recreationally. And then once I got old enough, it was like I finally came to terms with like, dude, you're blind. Like, you can't play a sport like passing a ball. Like, you can't play basketball really like with sighted kids. It's pretty intense. And then I started wrestling, and I was freaking awful. Like, I was like, oh, this is gonna be sick, you know, like I'm gonna be so good. And my first year I went like 2-12, where one of my wins was I just went and got my hand raised. So it was like it was pretty like, you know, I got to do something, like something has to change.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the last tournament of the year, walking away from that match I lost, and I was like, Dad, I got to get good at this, you know, like I got to get good. And he helped me find a club, and I started going 4 days a week and just like making a lot of sacrifices. Like I learned, that's when I started learning about like, you know, you have to sacrifice, like hang out with your friends all day to like get better at something. Like if you want to commit to something, and like, you know, just not being able to eat whatever you want, whenever you want, like different things. And then, like it was an awful journey at first. Like I was putting all that time in, going to tournaments every single weekend, driving like all these hours with my dad on the weekends, and I wouldn't even score a point like in any of these tournaments. Like I was getting destroyed, dude. It was like, I remember leaving one tournament and I was like, Dad, I don't think I can do this, man. Like, I don't know if I'm made for this or if I'm meant to do this. Like, I just keep getting my butt whooped. And finally, he was like, come on, you've been putting so much time in. Like, just keep going. And finally, I, like, broke it down to, like, all right, instead of trying to win a match, like, let me just try and score a point. And then finally, I scored that point, and it felt like a win, dude. Like, I was, like, on top of the world. And then, like, that gave me the confidence to keep going to, like, okay, a point turned into a couple points, and then that turned into a win, and then a win finally turned into, like, having a gold medal on a podium. So it's like, it was, like, wild, you know? It was, like, so slow, it seemed, when you're in it, and it seems like you're not getting better at all, but it's just slowly happening as you put those hours in.
Definitely, man. That's how a lot in life is, right? It all takes time. Just keep working, grinding at it. I loved the in the documentary, just the dynamic between all your different coaches, between your club coach to then, you know, your high school coach, and how just their different approaches to coaching and talking about you and stuff. Those guys had to be pretty influential.
Mike was like my Yoda, you know, like the club guy.
Yeah.
He was like I don't know, like he was just always so mellow, and he barely spoke, but everything he said to me was like, you had to soak that up. Like, it was just straight knowledge, you know. And it was like one time he told me, he was like, what did he say? He was like, listen, man, like you're blind, but the rest of the world isn't. So like you gotta you gotta either buck up or like get out, you know. And like that was powerful. Like it was like, stop feeling sorry for yourself and like, you know, get on the wagon, start working. Like just make things happen.
Totally. Yeah, his something he said too that really stuck with me, and I think could be applied to a lot of things, but it's like, wrestling doesn't care if you're blind or not.
It's so true. You know? Exactly. It's like life, like in the most part, you know?
Exactly. Well, you're going to make excuses, or you're going to get the job done.
Exactly. It doesn't matter who you are or what you're dealing with. You can figure out different ways to get to your goal that you want to get done, you know?
Yeah.
Like it may look way different than the person next to you, but it's still possible.
Definitely.
And it might take a lot longer, but you just got to stay in and let it ride, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta let it ride, baby.
So you went from not being able to score a point in a match to scoring points to winning matches and really leading an extraordinary high school career. I don't want to ruin the film, but for whoever's listening, you should check it out on Amazon. It's called A Shot in the Dark, and it chronicles your high school wrestling career, mainly focused on your senior year. What else did wrestling teach you? Well, actually, first of all, just in terms of accommodation and access, there are certain rules. There's a touch where you have to be in physical contact. How did it work to be able to wrestle?
So for me to wrestle, there was a thing called a two-hand touch start. And, like, we would start with one hand up, one hand down, and mirror each other, and our fingertips would be, like, touching. And then the referee would blow the whistle, and we could start wrestling however we want. And if you, like, break away with one arm, that's fine. Like, just come back in and keep wrestling, you know? But, like, if we break away completely, the referee blows the whistle because I have no idea where you are, and, like, something bad could happen. Like, we could get headbutt or, like,
you
shins.
could crack heads.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
So that was the way that it was made, like, fair, you know, like, make it safe as well. And it was never a problem, in my 7th grade year, like, when I was just getting destroyed all the time. And not even in my 8th grade year when so from 7th grade I went 2-12, and then 8th grade I ended up going like 24-1 or something. And
Big change.
Like, it was a huge change, but it was like I must have put in like 4 years in that freaking year in between. You know what I mean? It's not about how much time you have. It's like about what you put into the time you actually do have. And that kept going. And like, when my last tournament of the 8th grade year, the one I won, so I won like the whole Tri-County Championship, and I was losing 13-1 with like 45 seconds left, and we were wrestling on our feet. And my dad was like, Anthony, just keep going. Like, he always says, you know, never give up. Like, it's not over till it's over. And I just kept going and wrestling, and finally, like, I felt my opportunity, and I threw him to his back, and like the crowd went nuts, and like I threw him on the out of bounds line and kept my feet in, and like my dad's like, pull him in, and I like the crowd. So like it was like slow murmur like when we were wrestling, because I was just getting my like butt kicked, dude. Like, all right, this little blind kid's out there like getting beat up, whatever. Everyone's like, you know, just talking about themselves amongst themselves, and like finally that happens, and then people are like, whoa, like this slow roar starts coming from the crowd. And then my dad's like, pull him in, and I pulled him in, and like got it. The referee slapped the mat, and like I won, dude. And, the crowd, like, I could never recreate this feeling. Like, the crowd went from this roar to like an eruption, dude. Like, it was like this feeling was like I was on the moon, dude. Like I was like, no, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was shaking, you know, and it was wild, and I was like, I can't, like, no way. And like I stayed very composed though. Like, whenever I win anything, like matches or anything like that, I never try and like, I'll never celebrate like on the mat or anything. I really try to keep it professional and like composed. Yeah. And I shake kid's hand, walk away. Like, in my head, I'm like, I can't believe this is real. Like, this just happened. And the kid shook my hand, no problem, walked away. And then the kid's dad came over, like, dude, I'm celebrating. I'm like so happy, like, in my mind. Yeah. And the kid's dad came over to me and my dad and started complaining, saying I had an unfair advantage because of the two-hand touch. Your son doesn't belong in wrestling. He should try a different sport or go into the Special Olympics. Yeah. And like said all these like really hurtful things. And I was like standing there in like 8th grade, dude. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I just worked my butt off all like to get here, and you're trying to take that all away from me and say like I only won because of a rule adjustment.
Basically calling you a cheater.
Yeah, and it happened. That started happening all through high school. Like, it became to the point where people were saying I was faking my blindness just to get an unfair advantage. Oh my god! Like, one time someone was saying that to my dad, and I like was at the same time I was like bumping into the bleachers, like falling over. Like, he's like, oh yeah, he's really not blind, right? But it's just crazy. Like, so many haters, and like it came to the point where like coaches would even get in on it, like try and develop ways to like get in my head, and like knew I could hear better. and knew I would like emotionally respond to things. So they would like say things about me while I was wrestling. And it got like, that became a whole nother battle in high school that I had to like win, you know, like my senior year, my favorite award I ever got through my whole high school career was my senior year. I got the sportsmanship award for like the whole Shore conference and everything. And like, that was a win to me. 'Cause like, I didn't let people affect me that time. Like I stayed, you know, like I didn't let them like get to me at all. So it felt like a huge win.
Kept your composure.
Yeah.
Under duress.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
incredible.
Yeah, it's
and you're just like a 17-year-old
yeah,
kid.
dude.
You know,
Right.
like you're just trying to like hang out with your friends and like play a sport. You like
right.
it just became a whole thing, and I just had to go through it.
Dude, way to handle the adversity, not only from your disability, but then the added level from the haters. Like,
like in 8th grade was the first real like hard strike of adversity when I like I was supposed to go to the school both my older brothers went to, and I had a handwritten letter of acceptance and everything in 7th grade. They were working on getting my books brailled, and then in 8th grade, the president who wrote that letter died, and they sent a letter and a phone call saying like Anthony's no longer accepted to the school, like he won't fit in environmentally. We don't want to like have to make any accommodations and all this stuff. And it was like, dude, I remember being in 8th grade, and like I found this out after winning a match just like during the season, and I got home and I was so angry. Like I was just raging. Like I punched the hole through my bedroom wall, and like I was just so mad and like angry at the world. I was like, why can't I go somewhere because of something I can't control? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was hard.
Man. Yeah, that was a part in the movie that I actually teared up when, just because I'm a father myself, but just hearing the way your dad is talking about you and your work ethic and putting all your energy in and really trying with everything you got, and just for people to kind of throw all that out the window, you know?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And to hear it from a dad's perspective, man, it's just like, I had some tears rolling down my eyes in that part, and really feeling your dad's, love right there.
My dad
time.
really makes me tear up every time I watch that film. Like, you feel the love through the screen, like it's just pouring out. And he's like, he sounds like the Godfather, you know? He's just like the voice of reason or something.
Totally. So, dude, just an amazing high school career after you got, you found your place, and it like things worked out for the best, right? Because it seemed like your coach that you had was just a real awesome guy.
Yeah, all the coaches I, was lucky enough to have. Like, my high school coach was the guy, the Pat Smith, the guy that was like my coach at high school at St. John Vianney. He was the one that fought for me to be able to go. Like, he reached out and said, whatever it takes, I'll make sure like we can get you here, and like he made sure, like he sat outside the freaking registration office every day there to like make sure, like, to get an answer, like, can he come here, like, can we do what we need to do to get his things like booked, like braille his books and all that stuff, because they were a private school, they didn't have to.
Okay.
And like he made that happen, and it just felt like from being rejected to being like open into this like family with open arms, like this guy wanting me there, like that was an amazing feeling.
Dude, just awesome.
Go
ahead.
What do you think things would be like if you had not wrestled? How has wrestling
It's a good question.
changed you or shaped you? Is really what I'm getting at.
Wrestling is like, people say like, oh, this changed my life. It really did change my life. Like, it also saved my life. It kept me out of so much trouble growing up. Once I found it in 7th grade, and like, it showed me like hard work and like putting hours in. Like putting that time in. Like, nothing will happen overnight. Nothing's gonna be just given to you. Wins can't be given to you. Not like, you have to work for what you want. Yeah. And it taught me discipline, like showing up on time, being on weight, like not. I was a captain from sophomore year on, so like being in charge of a team for 3 years, like as, still like a kid, like being able to speak up and like just run, like keep everyone together, the morale, and like just relating to other people and different things like that. Like getting over loss too. Like, dude, loss in wrestling is the second hardest loss like ever, dude. Like next to losing a person in your life, I don't know, man. Like losing a wrestling match when you put your heart on the line, like you put it all out there. You're vulnerable, like you put all these hours in, and it's like sometimes it's just not your day too, and sometimes the person could be better or just had a better plan or a better day or whatever, but like it teaches you to deal with adversity, like just different things like that. And wrestling's incredible, dude. It's also awful. I always say if I have kids, like I'm not gonna recommend it. The kid's gonna have to ask me to wrestle. Like that's when the kid will wrestle.
So much pain.
So much pain, dude. Like
physical pain.
And then just the physical pain, and then the mental battles, and then having a undefeated record or something, and then getting that one loss or like whatever. It's just stupid
brutal
things like that, even that just sit with you and you have to get over. And it's just, I don't know. Wrestling is, it's whatever. But like whatever, I think I wanted to be good so bad, like at it, because I felt like I didn't know what else was going on. Like felt kind of lost, and wrestling kind of helped give me a purpose in a sense. Like I don't know what else I would have been doing.
Amazing. Lessons learned. Become a man, wrestling. And other sports certainly can do the same thing, but there's
100%.
There's a certain thing about wrestling, just the one-on-one.
It's
watching
just
your
you
film,
out there.
It's one guy. How does your dad say it? If you lose a match, there's
only one
person
person
you
to
can blame.
The referee.
Thank you, Mr. Ferraro, for that one. So the film came out, though, many years after. I'm sure it took some time to edit and probably get it onto a streaming platform. What was it like during the premiere? You said you had gone to a premiere party. Was it just freaking awesome when the film finally came out?
It was awesome. It was to be real, like it was emotional. Like every time I went to a film premiere, because there was like we'd go to a bunch around the country, like to different film festivals, and every time I'd have to sit through that, I felt like, like my brother was just missing. Like he's not here, and like he should be living this with me, like, and he is, like, he's still around, like I feel him 100%, but like it was just like a hard, like, and every like milestone I hit in my life now, like it's always like I want to pick my phone up and call him and tell him what just happened. It's like that hard reality. And like but the beautiful part of it, it's like it's this love story for my brother too. Like he left all this footage, dude. This was his vision. Like he saw this in me. Like he was always that person in my corner being like, come on, Aunt, why can't you do it? Let's do it. Like, let's figure it out. Like, why can't you skateboard? Come on, let's go. Like, and he always thought it was sick whenever I did something, and like, even my other brother, John, like he would sit there while I was trying to drop in on a ramp when I was a little kid. Like, I'll never forget that. Like, just ready to catch me when I was falling. And like,
wow,
it's just, that film is like such a love story. All the stuff he captured in real time. Like,
so that was him shooting.
Him and Chris Sikorsky, and so the guy that teamed up with him, who's like basically a brother to me now, and he had like a couple people that he would hire to like get footage as well. So he had, once I graduated, the film kind of got put on the shelf in 2013, and then in 2015, Chris was like, there's a sick story here, like I got to take it off and like start putting it together. And he put together the first 15 minutes and then had a meeting to show my brother because he was all stoked about it. And then 2 days before that happened, my brother passed away, and it was like this heartbreak, like it felt like the floor got ripped out from under us. Like it was just like a really hard time. And Chris came to the funeral and like said to me, he's like, no matter what it takes, like I'm finishing this film, like for Ollie, for you, for everyone. And in the next like year and a half, that's what he did. Like he went through hundreds of hours of footage on all these cameras and like lined up, like he would have to find the best angles from each camera, line them up. Like the hours that he put into this documentary, it's like mind-boggling. Like when he explained it to me one day, I can't even do it justice explaining like what he did.
Yeah.
But it's like a true, it's between what he did and what my brother did, it's like that was the biggest monumental like thing from my brother. Like I can watch this whenever I want. I can hear my brother's voice. Like there's a freaking interview with my brother at the end, and like it's like my brother was talking to me, you know? It's just really cool. And it's also hard, but it's cool.
Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff, man.
Just a lot of love for Chris for taking it to the finish line. I mean, you got hours of unfinished, hundreds of hours of unfinished film. It could just be sitting there forever. That was a labor of love and
exactly
intense energy and time and focus. And wow, I think everyone's lucky that it came together because it's a really badass, really special film.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out to Chris.
So you were starting to explain this a little bit yesterday when we got to meet up. How is judo different from wrestling?
Judo is like wrestling with a jacket on. Like it's like so it's a karate outfit, like a gi it's called, and you have the jacket and the pants and the belt. And first thing was, so I did Greco-Roman wrestling too, like very competitively. It was actually one of my favorite styles. And that's a lot of like throws and positioning and things like that, which really relates over to judo. And so that sense I had a good understanding of certain things, but then I had to learn about different grips and like where to grab the gi and different things like that. And then on top of it, once you go down to the mat, so the scoring's different also, and then there's chokes and arm bars. So I had to learn like all the different submissions and things like that. Okay. But it was a lot of fun, and I did jiu-jitsu to help me like push start the submission stuff.
Okay, yeah. So you get to roll on the when there's a takedown, you are on the ground now rolling in submission fighting, basically.
So only if you take someone down feet to back, like clean, like their feet to their back, however you do it, the match is over. Okay. It's called an ippon, which is 1 point. And that's because when judo was originated, it was samurais fighting. And that throw that you just did would have literally knocked someone out.
Okay.
Or it would have like set you up to kill them or whatever.
Sure.
Because it was during a civil war in Japan.
It was a finish him situation.
Yeah. So then, but then like if you take someone down like just to one shoulder or like to their stomach, you know, then you get like 30 seconds to make something happen.
Okay.
And if you don't make something happen, like choke, armbar, or pin, and a pin in judo is you have to hold him down for 20 seconds, like on his back.
Huh.
Which is way different than wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it doesn't have to be shoulders pinned. It just has to be there on their back.
So you kind of smother them.
But you can, if they grab your leg with their legs when you're trying to pin them, then the counting stops. Because you're in there. It's called a half guard.
Okay.
Do you try to get up when you're on the ground, or you were fighting on the ground?
You kind of fight to let the time go.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Is there some type of identifier like on the time? How do you know? You just know you're on the ground. I don't have much time here.
Yeah, it's really like the referee's discretion. Like sometimes they'll bring you up super quick. Sometimes they'll let it like ride for a minute.
Okay, interesting.
So what was it like winning the national title? And then you won the President's Cup also. 17 and 18 is when you're really competitive and active.
Yeah, I actually just won the Nationals a couple weeks ago too.
Dude, I missed that in the intro. Damn.
It's all, it
go back.
Takes a while to update.
We gotta start over.
No, like Nationals it's a cool milestone. It's more just like get it done, like just finish. Like it's just like I have to do this to be on the team. So it's like one of those things where you're like, I have to do this, you know? Like, I don't know, like I'm expected to win it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes like this year was really heartbreaking though. Like I I go to the Daytona Beach, Florida, where nationals are, and I'm there 2 days early, and I want to like check my weight the day of weigh-ins, and I'm walking to check my weight, and weigh-ins are supposed to be 7 to 8 p.m. And for like when you're cutting weight, or if you have to cut weight, like you have a system, and like I was like, okay, I'm gonna have all day to just like lose a couple pounds. Like that's really no problem at all. I can do that like very mellow. But then I'm walking to weigh-ins, and one of the coaches is like, oh, you didn't hear? Like we found out last night that the weigh-ins got moved from 9 to 12 p.m. today, and it's 10:30, and like I'm going to register like in that morning. So I get this dumped on me, and I'm like thinking I had all day to cut weight, and I was like, all right, well, I have to do this. And I ran across the street with Kelly to get my like clothes, like a sweatshirt and stuff, to run outside. And I didn't even have time to get my shoes because they were in the car, and they were like, the car was only way you could get your car was valet at this place, and like they were taking a while because people were checking in. And then I like run across the street. I'm running barefoot outside in Daytona Beach, like trying to cut weight because I find out I'm 3.5 pounds over, and I have to lose that in like an hour. I have to do that in an hour and register at this, like all in that time. And I'm like running outside in Daytona, and like I'm on the grass at first, and 2 minutes in, I run into like a thing of pricklers and go like so deep into my feet, dude. And I'm just like yelling, and I'm like hopping around. Kelly comes over, like pulls them out, and then I start running on the concrete, like lose the weight. And then the next day for the competition, I find out like no one showed up in my weight class. And it was like dude, I like trained super hard leading up to it, like, you know, committed a lot of time, and like got into really good shape and did everything, and then got there and there was no one. And it was just like this kind of like heartbreak, you know, and that you still get the like uncontested medal, you're like national champ, you're on the team still, but it was like, I don't deserve this type of feeling.
Didn't
but
get to fight.
You didn't get to prove it.
Exactly. But it's like,
damn.
And then I had a exhibition match, which I waited like 7 hours to fight this match, and it like I won it pretty quickly, but like it was just it was good. I think the moral of the story, it was good that I had to wait 7 hours in the competition to like get like comfortable with that feeling again, like being in a competition all day, because it's gonna be happening soon, you know.
Yeah.
So like there was still like a lot of things you could take away from it, and like it was a lot. And I was all like, you got in these like feelings like, why the hell did I like pay for all this stuff? If,
right.
Like the flight, the hotel, the everything, like to make it here and not fight anyone. I was like,
right. Someone
I'm
knew that someone wasn't coming, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no one told. Like I was just so mad, you know. And then, but I had to keep it to myself, and then I got over it.
So they went around and was like, hey, who wants to fight Anthony, basically, or found a guy or something?
They found another guy from the U.S. para team, and we fought.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So how does it vary, you know, the para versus regular judo? Is there...
So the only difference is like visual impairment, and then it's basically like wrestling, like a two-hand touch thing, but you're starting grabbing each other's gi.
Gotcha.
So and then once you break apart, the referee will.
So like, everyone you will go up against
everyone
will have a visual impairment, not something else.
No, it's only visual impairment.
Okay.
And like some people can be deaf.
I was gonna say hearing too, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think hearing can be there like if you don't have a visual problem.
Okay.
Oh, I see. So it would be someone who has visual impairment and hearing impaired. All right.
And then it's broken into two sections. Like there's J1s, which are like totally blind or like can see light. So like I'm considered a J1. And then there's J2s, which are like, you could see a little more, you know,
some
like,
field
but you're
of
still
vision.
considered blind, like legally blind. And they had it where it was B1, B2, B3, B1 being the worst, and then B3 being the best, like sight. And then they found out, like, they just changed it this past year, and like 400 people already have been classed out for like faking visual impairments.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane.
Now, just with your history of, you know, wrestling a lot of guys with perfectly fine vision, are you of a mindset of like, I'll fucking fight anyone, or like?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I train, how I prepare a lot is like I'll still do local tournaments for judo and fight like the able-bodied divisions.
Okay.
Like I
Okay.
fight a lot of sighted people all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like every day I'm training, it's always with sighted people and stuff.
Gotcha. Interesting.
But yeah, like I train with like people that are like 250 pounds, like 300 pounds. Like I'll go with anyone, but doesn't mean I want to, but I will.
Whoever's there.
Yeah.
I used to hate, man, when the coach was the last guy left and you had to wrestle the coach.
Oh my dude, my senior year, the coach was the only one that would wrestle me.
Oh, man. You know you're just going to
It
get
was this
ass kicked.
this assistant coach, and he was like in really good shape. And I was,
Yeah,
I
great.
would get my ass kicked every day. I would, like school would end, and I'd be like, oh, here we go. Oh, man.
So what is your routine as far as, you know, keeping yourself in shape and being ready for these events and getting ready for, you know, everything you got going on with your competitive?
Yeah, my favorite like type of way to work out, like physical training, is like I guess more geared towards like a CrossFit style.
Okay.
Like I do a lot of like body weight stuff, a lot of like kettlebell stuff, and then a lot of like stuff with the bar. But like I won't sit and like work out for like an hour and a half just lifting weights. You know, I'll do like a 45-minute like blast workout that like basically like you guys do, like the circuits and stuff, like that type of thing. And then I try and gear it towards like, all right, I have a competition, so like the first 3 rounds will be my first match, and then I'll have a different workout set up like circuit for the next 3 rounds.
Okay.
And that'll be my like semifinals or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just like constant movement. And then I run on like the elliptical to like stay in like just like to keep up with cardio.
Yeah.
And like I have pretty bad knees, so like that helps with the knees and not running into a bunch of stuff. And then I do judo 3 times a week when I'm in like competition mode, and then jiu-jitsu like once or twice a week, and then, you know, try and do like workout like 2 or 3 times a week. So like, and constantly like eating healthy. Like right before a tournament, I'll take out like cut out all salt out of my diet and like try and cut out all like any added sugar or anything like that. And like carbs and stuff.
So keeping a pretty consistent regimen.
Yeah, that's like 3 days leading up to weigh-ins though.
Yeah,
and like leading up to it though, just try and eat like lean and, you know, vegetables and just not like that extra eating.
Yep. Okay.
Almost nothing worse than knowing you need to lose another 2 or 3 pounds in a certain specified period of time, and
that
no one is going to
feeling
lose
is
it
the
for
worst.
you. You can't. You just want to chop a finger off or something. And like, I just cannot lose this weight.
And there's one thing you can't do is cut your hair.
Yes,
It's not an option.
Speaking of hair,
Yeah.
you did not have
you
the
like
long
that
hair
transition?
in high school. Clearly, from
No.
watching the film. Where did the hair come in? Where did the inspiration for the hair? Give us the hair story.
The hair. So I grew up my like first part of my life always like shaving my head, like buzzing it when I was a kid. And I would actually, I thought I was so cool because I would buzz it myself. Like I would go out on the back porch like deck, and like I was tired of my mom like cutting my hair with scissors and stuff. So I was like, screw this, I'm just gonna shave it. And I started buzzing my head all the time, like with no guard or anything too.
Oh,
Like
taking
I'd
it
buzz
down, 0.
dude. Like yeah, my grandpa used to call it the watermelon. And what's it called? I wanted long hair, and once I was like probably a freshman in high school, and I wasn't allowed to grow long hair in high school. Like it was a private high school, and they made you keep it above your ears, and you had to always shave your face too. Like I can't tell you how many times I went into school and had to shave with one of those like crappy disposable razors in the dean's
Single
office.
blade.
Oh man, it was brutal.
Just
And like
ripping your face
same
up.
for wrestling, you couldn't have like facial hair, so that was annoying. And then so I just always wanted to grow my hair out because I didn't know what it would be like. You know, I was like, I want to know what it would feel like. I always thought like even when I was younger, my hair would get long enough to like when I would go underwater and then like have to like shake it. Like I loved that feeling for some reason, you know, like it was just such a cool feeling. And I was like, I want to be able to like put my hair in a freaking like ponytail or something, like, cause my uncle Tony had long hair too, and he's my godfather, and like I always thought he's so cool, man, and like Uncle Tony, and like, and I was like, I wanted to grow it out but couldn't, and then college came, and I kept cutting it for a little bit, like, so finally like in like junior senior year I started doing this like thing where I'd like have like long hair on the top but it was short on the side so I can still go to school with it. And then finally in college, I think my sophomore year of college, I just like let it go. Like I was just like, and my mom, and like that's the thing, I would always try to grow it out, and my freaking like my mom and sisters, they'd always be like, you gotta cut it so it grows in better. Like that was always their excuse. But like every time I get the same freaking haircut where it was to the same length. You know what I mean? So like it's not getting longer.
No, but it'll grow in better this time.
I remember like, dude, I was using like this like horse shampoo or whatever it was like to help grow your hair. Like I was trying to grow my hair out, dude. Like, and then and I always thought like people with long hair, like I was just like I was just like, I want long hair, dude, whatever. And I finally grew it out, and it just kept growing. Went through some like weird phases where I just like always wore a hat because it'd be like, you go through like a phase where it's an awkward stage, and then finally started growing out because first it was like a real poofy like afro-y almost. Okay. And then once it like got the weight to it, it just started coming down, and I was like, oh dude, this is cool. And then I like it just kept growing and growing, and like I only trust like my one cousin to cut my hair, so I rarely get haircuts. And then I just enjoy having long hair. I don't know what it is. Like I feel like Samson, you know, like
yes.
It's just like it's my strength, dude. Like
it's fantastic.
It helps me like I don't know. It's another way. I've always liked fashion, which is weird because I'm like can't see any of it, but like it's just a whole nother thing you can do like in whole different ways, like, to express yourself.
Yeah. How was that, after you made it through the awkward stage, your hair started getting long, now you could tie it up and everything. How was learning how to tie it and learning how to deal with it?
I used to do like these ties. So like first it wouldn't be long enough to pull back here, Yeah. So I'd start doing this little tiny tie up like up here, like on the top of my head. And I remember each time it got a little further back, like a couple weeks later, and like, you'd be like, yeah, come on. Like, grow, baby,
gains.
Yeah, like, it was just like, it was really funny. And I never had anyone teach me how to put my hair up or anything, so I was always just doing it my way, like figuring it out. And like, sometimes my mom would come over and like pull it back. She's like, yeah, like, it's so much better, pull it back and stuff. But like, I don't know. It just kept growing, and I've done so many things with it since. Like braided it a bunch. Like I braid it for fights because like it gets
for sure.
I don't know if it happens to you guys, but when I'm like working out, I could not have my hair down. I like can't breathe. It'll start suffocating me and stuff. Totally. Like in the water too. Like it gets to be a lot. But
do you ever wear any type of like head wrap or headband when you're working out?
The headbands are sick. I need to try that.
Yeah, we got to get you some. They're great for working out.
That's a good move,
just
actually.
Keep that flyaways.
I'll still put my hair up sometimes, and then when you're like running around a bunch, it'll bob loose.
Yeah.
And like getting your face, which I can't see, so it doesn't matter. But it bothers me, like the feeling of the hair.
Still a pain.
So annoying,
dude. Like I've had times where I thought it was like sworn it was bugs or something, like camping or something. So like that is always like a huge help.
Dude, you get it all tied up right on the top of your skull, and then you get the head wrap, and it's just all contained up there. Then the head wrap keeps it off of your forehead and the side. It's pretty much the only way
That's the recipe.
To go. Yeah, it's a winner, unless you braid it. But the braiding is probably pretty solid.
Yeah, no, the braiding's it's a process though, because I can't.
That's
do
a
it.
couple hours in itself.
Yeah,
totally.
Just that.
I have a question. How do you wear your hair when you sleep?
Good question.
That is a topic of much debate and content. And we have a couple of blog posts on it. I will usually tie it up on the top of my head in either a fold over or a high ball, the vernacular we use around here, just to keep it out, because otherwise it's just all over your face and choking you out, and you can't sleep, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and then it'll itch your back too. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm a big belly sleeper. Like I like to fall asleep on my stomach. So my hair kind of just is on my back or either on the side.
So
Hasn't
you let
really
it,
been
you
a
let
huge
it
problem.
chill.
Yeah, I just let it chill.
So I do like a loose like top fold over.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So then like, cause if I fall asleep sometimes with my hair in the back like fold over, but I find that I feel like it's like pulling my hair, you know?
Yeah.
If you sleep on your back.
Yep. Because the weight of it is kind of hanging, and then you can feel that little bit of tension.
It's crazy because like you don't.
Not a fan.
Your hair growing is like just like training and wrestling. Like you don't see the growth really until you look back. You know
Yeah.
what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't notice your hair growing really. Like now my hair is like very long and I'm like, wow, I guess it has grown in the past year. Because people that
Right.
haven't seen me, they're like, dude, your hair got so long.
Yeah. Do you have a particular length you're going after, or you just keep going?
I mean, I'm just gonna rock it till it stops growing, I guess.
There we go.
No, I don't know. I wonder if it will just like stop or something. Like I don't.
It could. I mean, everybody has their terminal length. It's different for everyone.
Have you found your terminal length?
I think at the Great Cut, where my hair was pretty close. Maybe I had another couple inches, but it wasn't growing much longer than that. That was long.
Yeah, same. I was pretty close to that terminal length, but that was my first time ever growing it out before the Great Cut, and then I cut it to my shoulders, and now it's back getting close to the lower back, approaching the waist, and I feel like I just knew what I was doing, growing it out, growing it long a little more this time than last time. It's probably a little bit healthier, and I'm going for a new world record.
Let's go.
Past the waist. We'll see. A new personal record, I should say. Yes.
PB.
Yeah. Well, we are going for a new world record
Yes.
as a team here.
Yes,
Great
we
Cut.
are.
Yes.
Yes.
And we need you to keep growing for the Great Cut as
Gotta
well.
grow. Let it
Because you look
grow.
like you got some thick hair. There's a
I
lot of
have some
weight to that
very
hair.
thick. It's very heavy.
That could be the one that sets us over the line for the record.
I'm down to donate.
Get
some
our
locks.
hands raised.
The one that tipped the scale
Yeah, exactly.
when it's coming down into the early morning hours. Time is running out. We need more hair.
So what's funny too about we'll see what happens. There's still 2 more years, but as of right now we are going against ourselves to beat our own record for the Great Cut for
You
the
have
world
to,
for the
dude.
world record again. We hope that some challenger comes out of nowhere and knocks off the record, so we have a little bit of more motivation. Not that we really need it, and it honestly doesn't matter because we're gonna crush
You guys are
whatever
gonna crush.
whatever number they put up. But we would love to have someone come up and put a 2x, 3x on our record.
And it would be another huge hair donation,
Yeah.
more hair replacements that can be made for children, like more people donating their hair is just
Yeah.
good for everything. Healthy competition, if you will.
I want to know where you got 25 inches for my length. Is that accurate? Or was that just
I
a
was just
guess?
guessing looking
Alright.
at you, but I would stick with that. Maybe 24,
We might have
perhaps.
to confirm this. I've never done that.
Kelly, do
You
we
got
have
the
a number
curl,
here?
so you got to straighten it out too. You know.
Yeah, I'd have to straighten it.
Also
It's
considering that, it's going to be longer when it's straight. So
Right.
I'm going to stick with the 25
You're
inch
close.
estimate.
What's the longest hair you've grown? How many inches? Have you measured it?
That was it at the Great Cut for me.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
okay.
for both of us.
Okay.
definitely.
We was both really long, like
Super
almost to the
long.
waist.
It was to the point where like it was semi-annoying having it that long because it would always be tangling. It was always knotted. There was
Dude, have you ever gotten the thing with the sunglass? If you wear a certain sunglass, it'll every
Oh,
time you put
hooks
it
on
back,
there,
it hooks
yeah.
onto the hair when it's up. Oh,
Dude, so gnarly. I used to think that this one was like fake because people would talk about it, but it's happened to me several times now. But you have to have real long hair for it to happen. But getting into a car and closing the door and then it's stuck.
Oh,
Your hair is
dude,
stuck
that's
in
a
the
Yes.
closed part of the door.
Oh,
I was
man.
whenever I heard that before, I was like, that doesn't happen.
No
That's a
way. That's
lie.
never happened to me.
Then boom, it happened to me. I was like, ah.
That's nuts.
Yes.
Oh my
So
god.
that, yeah. A lot of other hair problems too. Food is a big one. Finding
Yeah,
your
always
hair.
have to pull it back for food, and
Right.
then sometimes there's those little stragglers that get in your mouth while you're eating because they fell out. You're like,
Dude, yeah.
so,
The-
dude, oh my god.
The places you find hair too.
Yo,
That's remarkable.
When you actually like condition your hair in the shower
Oh,
too,
yeah.
when you get out of that shower, you're finding hair in places you didn't even know you had.
I
Like,
know. Dude, I had one the other day. It's pretty funny. So I put on some, undies. I got some boxer briefs. I go out on a run, and I'm like, I could feel something awkward down there, and I'm like,
Dude,
what is going
even
on,
start.
dude? I'm like, and and I've had a couple strands in there, but this was bigger. This was like, there's something in my underwear. What is this? I reach in there, and dude, it was like a clumped up ball
at the
that
end
was
of a hair?
also like long too, and it was like, it must have been like from the dryer, got stuck in the underwear. I didn't feel it at first, but I'm out there, and I reached down there under the sack, pull this out. I'm just like, what in the hell is this?
Dude, I have pulled hair out of my butt, like out of the butt crack, out of the hole. Like, I'm like, how did it get there? Like, I'll be real. Like, I asked Kelly, he's like, has this ever happened to you? And she's like, no. And I'm like, dude, it happens to me all the time.
I know, me too. Dude, Jose talks about it all the time too.
Dude,
He's like, dude,
worst.
all the time. Reach back there. You
you
get that
pull it.
slide
There's
out of the crack.
It's like hanging out too, like a thread of like your pants or something. You pull it and you're like, whoa, that was way longer than I expected.
That was really in there.
I didn't know where the culprit was.
Totally in there. And then you just discard it wherever you are.
Oh my god, yeah, exactly.
Hair down.
Hair down.
Things out of here.
Oh man.
Oh, it's classic. This is great. It's great.
I did not believe a few of those for a long time, and then I
Dude,
started getting them. I was
it's
like, man,
real.
he was serious. That was not
It
bullshit.
is real.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun times, It's good to laugh about those things with the hair.
Well, I'm glad someone's here to relate.
Dude, so your hair, you just look killer. Fashion, you have a great fashion sense. As you said, you're into fashion. That ties into another athletic endeavor that you're passionate about, which is skateboarding. Skateboarding style, steez, swag, all about that in skateboarding. Dude, so you started skating just as a kid, but recently you've really stepped it up to a whole new level. Is that correct? Like, where are you in your skateboard journey?
Yeah, man, I hate to bring everything back to it, but like it really does come back to like my brother, like, because he was the one that got me into skateboarding, and then when he passed away, I like always just rolled around and stuff, and like I could skate like a half pipe a little bit and stuff, like you saw in the film.
Yeah.
But then once he passed away, I like subconsciously like just stopped skating because it like paired with him, and I like didn't even realize too. And then finally one day I'm at his old house that my other brother lives in now, and you all right? I'm at his house that my other brother lives in, and we're in the garage, and he pulls out a skateboard, and I'm like, whose is this? And he's like, oh, this was Ollie's. And I was like, oh, that's sick. And it was like basically still in like amazing condition. He's like, take it. And I went back to the skate park and like slowly got back into it again, and like fell in love with it on like a whole new level. Like it was like a whole release. It was like kind of just an escape as well. And then I like didn't know about skateboarding with a cane. I always just memorized the half pipe, and that's all I would skate, and like didn't really progress much, just had my things I stuck to. And then I got invited to go to a meetup in Michigan with all these blind skateboarders that are like really good. These guys like Dan Mancina, like Nick Mullins, Justin Bishop, just to name a few. And like they're like the blind skaters,
These are like pioneers.
Yeah, like these guys I looked up to. I was like, these guys are sick. And they kind of helped inspire me to get back into it as well. And then I met up with them and met them all in person. And it was just like the knowledge I was able to like get from them, and like learn how to use a cane to like find things in front of me to like skate street features and like actually expand skateboarding style, and like be able to grow in the sport and like in the art of it. And that like opened a whole new world for me, dude. I like got obsessed and just like fell in love with it. And that was like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and just been doing it ever since, like nonstop. And like then I found out last year that they have these adaptive divisions within these competitions for skateboarding, and there's like people that are like limb difference, wheelchairs, like people skating with crutches, like all types of disabilities, and it's like amazing to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then got like heavily involved in that, and then just been like obsessed with it, like loving skateboarding and going to all the competitions, and like recently won my first one. Like it was just like wrestling, man. Like I'm going against my heroes too, and like I can't even do a kickflip And like I'm like, dude, don't focus on doing a whole line. Just worry about like landing one trick in that run.
Yeah.
You know, like just
Yeah.
land one trick, like, and figure it out next time. Like just get a little better each time, and then that slowly helped my progression. And like one day I was just like on a little better, like, and that was my day, you know, then. And hopefully I can have more days like that in the future and just keep growing. So it's and trying to push it to get into the Paralympics, because it just got into the regular Olympics. So
Yeah.
it'd be really awesome.
Dude, big advocate there, making a push with you and your boys.
And
for
it's
that.
just like
awesome.
It's just like the hair stuff too. Like I never saw anyone's. I've never been influenced by like anyone's visual stuff, I guess. Like totally.
Right.
And approaching skateboarding, these guys all were able to see before they went blind.
Okay.
So like they skated for years with sight.
Okay.
And like perfect sight.
Yeah.
And they knew how everything looked, what to do, how to, like, you know, what's supposed to, like what the style is, all that stuff. So like I approach it with such a different energy and stuff. Like I don't know what anything looks like, so I'm just hitting shit. Like I'm just figuring it out, dude, and like doing my own style. I'm like a freaking like I don't know, like a savage out there, just trying to get over whatever I can, and like just sending it, like just full go mode, like, and it's been fun, you know, like it's been really cool. And what's awesome about skateboarding, it's like you and that trick, like when you're trying to figure something out,
Yeah.
like I obsess over it. I'm like, dude, I can't leave till I land this, you know. And like that motivation comes from wrestling, and it rolls over like into every other aspect of my life, like just trying to like achieve those goals and just put in that time in, like almost obsessing over it.
These guys have had kind of the vision of what certain tricks look like or what style looks like, and you, on the other hand, are really building that vision in your own mind's eye of, I guess it's not even what it looks like, it's just kind of what it is.
Like, dude, I show up wearing tie-dye and like pink shorts, like I don't care. Like I just have fun, like, and I try and just stoke everyone up while I'm there, and it's just fun, you know. I'm just trying to get better every day, and like I've been fortunate enough to like make some really good friends through skateboarding, and it's an awesome like culture and scene, like of people that everyone's different, but they're all sharing the same love of skateboarding.
Yeah. So skateboarding, what's really fascinating, I find, is skateboarding has so much visual appeal to it. You know, when someone does some hard ass trick, it's like, oh, you
that
know,
looked
you have
sick.
to see that. Yeah, a lot, and people's reaction is, dude, that was insane. That looks so dope. And then like, so you not understanding or seeing from the jump, like a pop shove it or a heel flip or a kick flip or whatever.
I just hear that jump.
Exactly.
But
so like,
I can hear certain tricks.
Okay.
But with that being said, I can't watch skate videos. I don't really get anything out of it. And you know, I like straight up have to ask people like, what is like a hard flip? Like,
Yeah, there you go.
Like, can you show me like, with the board like what it's supposed to do? Like different things like that, just so I know. And then it's definitely different. Like I get frustrated sometimes. Like if I could just see, man. Like that's definitely like sometimes I'll be standing at a park that has like an awesome flow, like way to flow around the whole park, like Ocean Beach Skate Park, for example.
Okay.
If you've ever been there,
oh yeah,
it's like all bulls and stuff, like the perimeter of the park, and like you could skate through that park for hours, just like like pumping around.
Right.
And I'll stand there and I'll be like, dude, if only I could see to like pump around this whole park and do certain things that I just wish I could that aren't even hard for other people, but like I would love to do that. And it gets frustrating, but then you have to like kind of reality check and like, well, I could do this, you know, and just have fun and like do your thing and be like grateful that you're there.
Totally.
Yesterday we were walking around the warehouse a little bit, and we retraced our steps, and you had remembered that there were certain chords or that there was a tripod somewhere. I imagine you, and like you said, you memorized the half pipe when you were younger. So I imagine the more you skate in a particular place or certain features, you kind of have that visualized in your mind's eye, and you remember where the different things are. You can skate it a little bit better.
Yeah, so like everywhere I go, especially places that I frequent regularly. When I go there, I walk through, feel it all out, and as I'm doing that, I'm making a visual map in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks nothing like what it looks like to you, but like it's my references of like, all right, this is there, like, even if it's just like a darker shade in one section in my brain, and then, like whatever, and I have the layout in my mind, and then if it's a place I know I'm like never gonna go to again, I throw that memory away. Like, I'm just like, throw that map away. Like, and then I have this like atlas in my brain, you can almost say, of like all these maps of like, like for example, the Longhairs headquarters. Like, I have the map of this place in my head, and like all Kelly had to tell me today was there's a car in the middle today. That's the only different thing.
Sorry.
No, it's sick. I love the license plate.
Yeah.
And so like, and then skate parks, like, some are really overwhelming. Some you're like,
I'm sure.
I don't know what to do here. Like, for example, the other day I went to one in Massachusetts, and like walking through it, I was like pretty overwhelmed and like bummed. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to skate here. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then slowly I just started breaking it down, and then finding like a map of a certain section and figuring it out. And then finally I was like skating something where I was like, oh dude, this is awesome. And like, it gave me that confidence of like, you can figure it out, man. Like, that, it was a really good anxiety like overcoming,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, your sense of just spatial awareness is just got to be pretty incredible to be able to do that. Like, okay, in 10 feet, or I don't know what that look, what it is, what you call it, but it's like, now I ollie, right? Like,
yeah, and like the cane helps for like certain cues, like feeling out like where a step starts or like where a ledge is and things like that.
Yeah.
But then like a half pipe and things, like, dude, you're just memorizing the spacing.
Yeah.
You're just figuring it out, and like sometimes you might fall off the side, but it's all right. It's part of life.
A lot of feel on the half pipe.
All
right?
feel, yeah.
Yeah.
I would submit, and interested to hear your comment, that having long hair, and there are some articles about this and what have you, but they are almost like tentacles. There are feelers. If your hair blows in the wind, you can feel that. I do believe there's extra sensory perception with the tips of your hair, and perhaps the longer your hair is, the more you can feel the environment around you. I don't know. I don't know how scientifically that's been confirmed, but what is your take on that?
I don't know, man. It's crazy because it's been a long time since I've had shorter hair, but it definitely feels 100% different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I went back to short hair today,
then
like,
you would
just
feel
cut my hair off,
huge difference.
I would feel so weird, like just like off, like something was missing, and like I would like shake my head and like I'd be like, what the heck? Because even like hair is a comfort, dude. Like, if I'm nervous, sometimes I'll touch the ends of my hair, or like just as a twitch, like it's just like I don't know, it's just nice. No, it's there, I guess.
Hey, you don't have to convince us, man. I'm right. We're right with you.
It really is
had
like,
shaving mine, after having it so long, the feeling is just, the first thing is just the air going
the
through
airflow,
like on your scalp is just really interesting. But if you braid your hair tight, you can kind of feel what that might feel like.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you really notice it is when you take like your first shower.
That's
when you go to like
hits,
you
dude,
grab it and you're like, whoa, I got nothing.
I've had nightmares. I'll call them nightmares, dude. Like, I've had nightmares of washing my hair in the shower and it wasn't long. I was like, wait, what happened? I did it.
Where is it?
And then I'll wake up and be like, oh, thank God. Like, it's so funny, dude. It's real too. Like, I've had those vivid dreams of like my hair not being there.
What's interesting is you're not the first long hair to tell us that on this show. A lot of guys have said that they have like nightmares of their hair getting shaved off or losing it, or it all falls out. Pretty interesting how, we have those dreams. I don't know what that means exactly, but
that's funny. I used to have those dreams, but I hadn't thought about them in forever, and I have not had that dream in years.
Yeah, I've never had one, but I've heard plenty of stories.
I definitely, many times, recurring dream, wake up and hair was all cut off. Like, it might still be on the pillowcase or on the bed or something, or it was shaved, but it's just completely gone. I had that dream often, but only thinking about it now, I haven't had it in years.
It probably is like, whatever's going on in your life, like It's telling you something.
It's so
I've had the
hidden.
dreams of like the teeth falling out,
Okay.
like teeth just like shooting out of your mouth, like clenching your jaw so hard that the teeth just like break. It was so weird.
Interesting. I used to have the only like vivid recurring dream that I remember I've had was back when I was like confused and didn't really know what I was doing. I was working all kinds of different jobs and stuff. I would always have this dream that I was like chewing gum, and then like the gum would get stickier and stickier and stickier to where my jaw would literally get like sealed shut.
Oh man!
And like I would be like choking and like couldn't open my jaw, and it was just like a total. I had it all the time, and it was a great just like metaphor or symbol of, dude, you're stuck. Like go. It was like something was trying to tell me like you gotta make a change. You gotta do better. And
that's wild.
haven't had that for 10 years, but I used to have that all the time.
Dreams are freaking powerful. They're crazy.
I still have the recurring dream that I missed a test or an assignment. I've been out of college for almost 20 years, and I still have this dream that I completely didn't study or I just didn't go to a class or something.
No.
I think that one just means that the blog post is due.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, recently I had a
Something's due.
dream that...
Something is due, for sure.
Recently I had a dream that I've never done this in my entire life, my whole career, that I was missed weight. Overweight.
really?
And like that
Yes.
is something I pride
Yes.
myself on, always being disciplined. Never even in high school there were kids that would always miss weight by like 0.2 or something. Like I would never miss weight. It was just like it was just part of the job, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that was a nightmare I had a couple weeks ago.
I think all those in common have something in common, and it's either too late or you can't go back. Like you already missed weight, it's too
Yeah.
late. You
Yeah,
missed your
yeah.
class, it's
You
too
have to,
late.
like,
Your hair
let
is
it
cut,
go.
it's gone.
Yeah.
Like
It's
all
like-
of those.
Get
My
over
jaw
it.
is clenched. I can't open it
It's
up.
like don't hold on to things so hard.
Yeah.
Really, like certain
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
You gotta let something go. Purge it out.
Well, tell us about some of your other project. You have Four Bad Eyes. You have a podcast.
FOUR.
Yes.
No, it's awesome podcast I have with my my blind homie who's also like basically pro. He doesn't like when you call him pro because he's like, I don't have a pro deck yet, but he's pro. He's sponsored by like Adidas and Real, Dan Mancina, and we talk about like life and just different stories of like growing up blind and even just day-to-day stuff now and just how to overcome things we've experienced in our life. And it's like very relatable, blind or not, and
Yeah.
it's like it's just fun. And we get real sometimes, and sometimes we like there's been episodes where I haven't been able to stop laughing like the entire episode, and I'm like, this is a bad episode, but it ends up being like the best episode. And then no, it's been really fun. We create like a bunch of content together too. We'll like meet up every couple months and do like call them like content blasts. Like we'll just film so much content of like different videos for Four Bad Eyes and do a bunch of episodes and then blast them everywhere. And then what else I just released my first ever song.
Nice.
It's called COVID Train.
Okay.
Anywhere you stream music. And it's that was like a big milestone because I've like been doing music for a while, but I've always wanted to record, and I finally like built out a studio in my apartment.
Yeah.
And then
sick.
made it happen. And then what else? What do we got? Dude, there's so much has been I said to myself today, because I was trying to recall like what I've even done this past week, and like so much has happened in the past like couple months. It's been like fully nonstop that like I submitted today. I was like, I'm just not even gonna try to recall what I've been doing. Like I'm just gonna keep going. Like
Yeah.
when people are like, oh, what have you been up to? I'm like, I don't even know, man. But right now I'm right here talking to you.
Yeah. Dude, so your social, your social media presence and stuff has really, been growing, blown up. You got a lot of eyes and stuff on you. How has, that been, creating that content, managing that channel?
It's been awesome. I wouldn't be able to do it without my wife Kelly. Like she's literally the backbone.
Kelly!
behind
She's
it all.
here in our
Shout
warehouse,
out.
observing and listening intently.
She is freaking filmer, editor, master marketer, like.
Yeah.
And she like.
Yeah, come on, take a seat. Get in here.
I'll just say hi to the
Okay, there we go.
Heck yeah, get in here.
Good job.
And then she she's the
Oh yeah.
she's the filmer. Like she even does like the producing for Four Bad Eyes. Like she'll edit the episodes and edit the videos, does the filming for that stuff. Like
Executive producer.
and she has her like her own career as well. So it's like she does so much that it's like I don't even know. I wouldn't be able to do it without her. But we have so much fun. Like everything's organic. Everything you see is usually like it's just spontaneous. Like we film it while it's happening, and it's not like let me write out this like canned script or like okay, today this is what we can do. It's like, all right, today we're doing this, so let's find a cool way to like tell it, like tell that story. And then it's just been incredible, like getting just the community that gets built from it, like the people I get to help and that help me along the way, and just like you guys know all about creating community. It's like that positive space for everyone, and it's really awesome to see how it's grown, and just being able to encourage other people doing things in their life, and just being real with people, and like saying also, like people say like, oh, you're so happy all the time, and like I say it over and over, like, dude, some days are hard to get out of bed. Like it really is. Like you don't even want to get out of bed. Life can be so hard, blah blah blah, like woe is me type of feeling. And it's just about like that first step is just some days like all you have to do is make your bed and get out, and like
get moving.
That's a win for that day. You know what I mean? Like mental health is real, and like it's not no one is happy 24/7. Like that's unrealistic. You have to feel your emotions, and like I really try and express that to people.
Definitely, man. Yep.
We also got to observe yesterday when you and Kelly first arrived how she would describe the surroundings for you and feel it out and walk you around a little bit and explain what the room looks like. I imagine that is, we heard you say, I really wasn't able to see until Kelly was in my life. So in addition to the producing and the filming and all the stuff, you guys are really a true partnership.
I'll never forget, like, when we were just started, like, I guess we weren't even, like, we were kind of dating, but just talking all the time, like, over the phone and voice messaging and stuff. And then this day she was in Spain or something, and she, like, was telling me, at first, like, when we started dating, she would send me, like, pictures of landscapes, and I would be that guy. I'd be like, oh, it looks so cool. Like, pretend like I can see it. And then one day, she just had this reality check. She's like, you can't see any of the freaking pictures I'm sending you, can you? And I'm like, no. And it's just like, so then she started, like, sending me voice memos describing, like, what she was seeing. And she told me, like, she was at this place. I forget exactly where it was, but she was looking at this landscape, and she was like thinking of how she can describe it to me using her other senses. Like she would close her eyes and try and see it how I would see it, and then explain it to me that way. And like I remember just being like, this girl is the most special person I've ever met in my life. Like
that's
to
awesome.
be able to think like that in my shoe, like it was just so amazing. And then like when we travel together, like it just, she takes the time to like really soak things up, like not just look at it and walk away. So like while she's looking at it, she'll be describing things to me, and then we'll go up and like touch it and then like smell different things, and like it's really cool. Like we've done fun experiences in other countries where we've done dining in the dark. So you go down into this like restaurant and it's completely pitch black. Like if you can see, you open your eyes and you can't see a thing in front of you. Like it's that dark. And the waiters and waitresses are all blind, and you could either like pick what you want to eat or get like surprised. And Kelly did this with me like 3 times so far, 3 or 4 times. And there was one time where it was like loud and like all this stuff going on. She was like starving, like hangry, and like she felt all the worst case scenarios and like how I feel at like a crazy bar or restaurant.
Oh yeah.
And she like kind of broke down and was like, I get to like, I'm okay because I know I get to leave and like see after this, and like you don't. And like it was this reality check like in our relationship where she really just started thinking about things that way, and it was really awesome, like to have someone like that in my life. And then we just like being able to work together, and like the past year, 2 years of like working on content and like socials and just everything else, like the motivational speaking and just doing everything that we've been doing. And she drove 10,000 miles in 7 weeks for us to do like a cross country music tour, like live streaming.
Wow.
Like it's insane. So like it's just been it's cool. Like it's amazing getting to work with your partner.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. It's phenomenal to hear. Just it's such a thriving partnership, and
she fully supports the long hair.
All right, that was what we were waiting to hear.
My family tries to get me to cut it, and Kelly backs me up.
Yeah,
like they tried to get me to cut it for the wedding, and Kelly's like, "If you show up at our wedding with short hair, I'm gonna be so mad."
That is not the man I'm marrying.
Yeah. No, but it's awesome,
dude. That's great, man. Just another little notch of inspiration there.
Another thing I noticed yesterday when Kelly was walking you around the warehouse is we have right here in the frame a neon light of the Bound Shears, our logo, and she took you up to it and you got to feel it and feel the shape, and you said, wow, I didn't actually know what your logo was before until you actually felt it out. And sure enough, it's scissors up and down with the bow tied over it. And just seeing that recognition was really fascinating. It was heartwarming, again, just to see Kelly walking you around, but just to see that moment of recognition when the Bound Shears came to life. Was really something else.
It was really cool. That's the biggest thing is like brand logos and things like that are the hardest things for me to imagine, because a lot of them are made up from the brand. It's not like a set image, and like they're always done differently. Like you could say like, oh, it's a pair of scissors with a bow tie, but like I can imagine that, but I won't imagine, like if I'm feeling it, I know what it looks like. That is really cool. And like anytime a brand has something embroidered, like even on this hat and stuff, like I always love that because I get to see what the brand logo looks like.
Heck yeah.
Well, we will keep that in mind with our Tactile product.
Dude,
product development.
Make the best product. What I love about your hair ties too is I always know it's them because of the square here.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I'm always like, it's the right one.
Got my
nice.
Got my hair tie here. Beyond in like the physical world, even in the online world and accessibility, we mentioned that we had another blind Longhair on Let It Ride last year, and he helped us to understand the meta tags or the alt descriptions on the photos, so that when you're going through reading the blog post, you get a description of the photo.
Oh, that's
and
sick.
We've tried to just be a lot more diligent about that. There's still plenty of room for improvement. But
no, that's so helpful. Like, you don't understand, like taking that extra step, even though the blind, like, listen, it might be like 3 blind people that ever like scroll past someone's website or something, right?
Sure.
But like those 3 people that scrolled past and they had that the alt text over, so their voiceover, like, so basically my phone, I don't have it on me, but like it has voiceover and it speaks everything out that's on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And when I like swipe over to the picture, it'll read what you guys write as the description.
yes.
So then it's like I can see that picture now.
Yeah.
And it's huge because like I make sure to put all that stuff. Kelly does it for my like Instagram pictures and stuff for me. And it goes a long way, like that alt text,
Absolutely.
It's really cool that has been implemented.
Every time we write those, we're thinking about you and our boy El Ciego, Chris Matthews.
El Ciego. Oh, that's the blind.
Yes.
Dude, that's a great one.
That was a self-proclaimed nickname.
Oh,
we
man.
didn't just give that to him. Although
That's
we
the
did
first
give
thing-
you your moniker, El Luchador.
I like that one.
The
I'm
wrestler,
down
if you
with
caught
wrestler.
that in the
Yeah.
intro.
I'm down with that.
But yeah, every time we're writing up those alt tags, we're thinking about you guys and want you to be able to experience the content
Dude,
as
that's
it was intended. And like I said, there's still room for improvement, but it's fun. I personally really enjoy, as a writer, trying to describe things that you cannot see. It's a it's a practice. It's a skill in writing, and I'm sure Kelly has developed it since the two of you have been together.
Yeah, like it's wild. Yeah, it's like a muscle. You have to strengthen it.
It is.
It's like speaking, you know?
Yeah.
Very much.
And it's really cool when you're able to like, because some people can just be like, oh, it's mountains and a sky.
Right.
Okay, that's great, but like Kelly will start breaking down like there's these like crater-looking holes in the side of some of these mountains, like start drawing them out for me, you know, like filling in those details that I never got to see.
That's something else, man.
And that's the thing, like blindness is like, I'd compare it to losing someone because you're like, dude, you would do anything to like, you could sit for hours just trying to like rack your brain and drive yourself crazy in the loophole of like, if I could see, what would that be like, you know? Or like, and that same feeling of like, I would do anything to get this person back. Like you could drive yourself crazy with both those thoughts, but like you have to keep going and appreciate like the things in life, like the way you are able to see life, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's just a little different, but I hated being blind until I met like a friend with no legs. You know what I mean? Like then I'm like, wow, you got it pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Quote on your website: "The only disability is a bad attitude."
Love that, man.
It's true, because I know people in wheelchairs and like with all their limbs missing, and they're figuring out ways to like rock climb or like, you know, do all these crazy things and like climb mountains and
skiing.
There's people at home, skiing, snowboarding, surfing, everything you can imagine, and there's people at home with nothing physically wrong with themselves, and they're just making excuse after excuse for why they're not like living life or like
or
you know, getting that job.
Else.
They're saying this is why. Oh, it's this, like making, you know, blame. Yeah, playing the blame game or whatever it might be, and it's like at the end of the day, who has the disability? You know, because. And it doesn't have to be climbing mountains or do something crazy. Like, dude, if you like to sew, like, be the best freaking sewer that you can, put the hours in and, like, do it. Don't just make excuses for why you never got good.
Absolutely, man.
Like, you guys could have quit. Freaking building a business is one of the hardest things in the world. And you guys could have stopped, like, so early on. But you just were so committed and, like, driven by that goal of what you had, you know, the vision of everything, and you just made it happen.
Definitely. We have willed a lot of things into existence, which is awesome.
That's what I got from that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
I literally
exactly.
That's how I've gotten a lot of things in my life is you visualize it to the point where you see it where it's like real in your head, and then it actually becomes real.
Exactly. But that doesn't mean you could just sit there and think about it and it's going to happen, right?
No.
It goes back to working and busting your ass and putting in the time, putting in the hours, all the stuff you're talking about, you know?
And while you're working, you're seeing that in your head. You're like, this is what I'm doing.
And you're taking one step closer, step closer. And then there's an affirmation. That's big. You know, we've had a lot of that over the years where just one little thing happens. Someone says something, or some mom writes us in and says, hey, you guys really inspired my son, or another business guy is like, you know, really, you guys are really crushing it with what you're doing. I'm trying to be, you know, follow what you guys are doing, whatever. It could be anything and everything. Yeah, totally. And you got to really appreciate those, as small as those affirmations are, because it's the sign that's telling you, the universe that's telling you, you know, hey, you are doing the right things. It is working. Keep going.
Exactly.
You're on the right track.
Yes.
Amen.
And no matter what obstacles get put in front of you, we've honestly, I think this year, as there's been a lot of obstacles. I wouldn't say it's been like, and it's been tough as a business, but emotionally, energy, the morale of our team, just what we're producing, it's like everybody's on a super high level and feeling great, even though there's been some pretty extreme challenges and adversities and setbacks that we've been going through. No one's bitching or whining or like, why is this happening to us? It's like, okay, this is happening. Here's what we're going to do.
Instead of like bitching about the problem, it's how can we fix it?
Exactly.
And that's all part of it. That's the type of you can't get anywhere with a team that's not like that, you know? Like,
right.
You need people that believe in it just as much as you do and have the same like goal for it as you do.
Yep. Definitely.
and like constantly challenging each other.
Yeah. And you put that out there and you receive it back from the people that
Exactly.
need to hear it.
100%.
I want to take just a moment here. Anthony, I'm going to ask you to share with our listeners and our viewers where they can connect with you. But first, just want everyone who's listening or watching, go and check out our newest blog post from El Ciego. It's called Different by Choice. It's the visually impaired Longhair I was just talking about a moment ago, and his whole life, he was different because he was blind and it was out of his control, but now he is different because he has long hair, and it's something that he has control over. And so Different by Choice is the theme. It's publishing today.
Let's go.
Although by the time this episode goes live, it will already be on the blog, so you'll be able to find it very easily. Different by Choice with El Ciego. And one more opportunity to call out one of our best friend brands, Westside Love. The gear we're repping today is from westsidelove.us. They're going to be sponsoring the Great Cut 2024. Haven't told them about it yet, but they pretty much don't have a choice at this
They
point.
added the Tactile
And they have
logo.
committed a $15,000 cash donation to the Great Cut. So
Thank you, Jordan and Tori. All right.
for that, Jordan. Thank you. We'll talk about that, Jordan. Just don't worry.
Just go visit westsidelove.us. So, Anthony, where can we connect with you, find your show?
Yeah,
Tell us where to look.
Everything's on asfvision.com. You can find like all my socials. My handle is asfvision, and it has like links to the film, links to YouTube, everything you need, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And you can get in touch with me through there. And fourbadeyes.com, FOUR. You can find all the stuff for that there as well.
It's fourbadeyes.com and ASVision.
ASF.
Excuse me, ASFvision.com. And you heard it here. Anthony Ferraro is letting it ride.
Let's go. Let it ride, baby.
Awesome show, man.
Yeah,
Pumped
dude.
to have you here
Thank you
for the
so
show
much.
and just visiting for the week. We're going to be doing some awesome content creation tomorrow and during the
fun.
rest of your stay in sunny San Diego.
Yeah, man. And thank you for being an inspiration, not only just for us here in the building, but for everybody out there. Keep doing you, man. Keep living life hard.
Thank you for making the best freaking hair ties in the world. One love.
Absolutely.
Dude, can't wait for the Great Cut, too. Let's go.
Let's go.
Until next time, boys, keep letting it ride.
Let it ride, baby.
See you.